evening, guys. It's Market Matters, their take-home kind of edition. It's the Friday takeout. And the fact is, I'm Nadia Hassan, he's Sulhi Azman. It's been an interesting week, Sulhi. Malaysia has been uneventful, but I can't say the rest of the region is uneventful as well, right?
Yes, correct. I mean, if you look at the US, for instance, we have this Martin Shkreli,
Well, okay, yeah. Well, it's one thing, talk about things that didn't... We'll talk about how bad it's been in a moment, but we just wanted to shout out the fact is there was one spark of happiness. Martin Shkreli, smug-faced, all-around D-bag, who was the head of a drug company that was accused of hiking the price of
the Dara Prim by 1,000%.
By over 1,000%, who has been brought on charges but is now on bail and is live streaming his D-bag life, is offering yet another D-bag, Kanye West, $10 million for his new album. And I'm saying, take it, Kanye. Take it now and wear your nice shoes because I don't want to hear your album at all. So yes, take it so I don't have to be bothered. But he might just take the album and sell it for, it's $9.99 on iTunes. He's going to hike it to $9,999 most likely. But anyway, talking about what was bad this week, the market was just bad. KLCI, although it even had a short trading week, was mostly red. And even today, although we saw a bounce, a bit of green, it had all the hallmarks of, they call it a dead cat bounce or a technical bounce.
Yes, correct. And today closed 0.21 points to 1,643.7 points with 1.33 billion shares worth 1.57 billion ringgit traded today. Now, there's a lot of, investors are still on the holiday mode, CNY holidays basically, and it's just been a turbulent week for the KLCI.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I think, although they've been pairing losses ever since they had a really bad opening on Wednesday, regional factors were the big concern. And as you can see, like all markets seem to be in selling mode, mostly because US, oil hit 27 per barrel, which just sent everybody into full-fledged panic.
Well, Goldman Sachs has been, Nadia, telling us that the oil could hit as low as teens, and that would spell the doomsdays for the whole country and the whole nation. Exactly.
I don't know what else they're going to take us out of our EPF, allegedly. But the fact is, Hang Seng had a shorter week, of course, because it came back only from Chinese New Year a couple of days ago, down 1 to 2% to 18,319.6. It's lost about 38% since mid-April. It's had one of the worst starts for Lunar New Year. And not only that, you're going to talk about Nikkei because Nikkei also had an abysmal day today.
Yeah, correct. Nikkei was nearly down by 5% to 14,952.6 points today. Now, Nikkei, Nadia, has lost 25% since early December 2015. Now, this was the fact that they are still trying to recover from the negative interest rate announced by the...
Negative is not bad.
Well,
you know that, right?
Yeah, it's not bad. But then again, consumers are charged, Nadia, for deposit for putting money inside the bank.
Yeah, but it's not bad. It's just a way of doing, your they call it Alice in Wonderland playbook. It's a new way of doing things. It's not a great signal, but it's not bad. It depends on which side you put on. The big story this week, of course, was banks. Banks were the ones, because negative interest rates will hit them, of course. Banks were the ones who felt it. You saw Japanese banks with steep losses. Mitsubishi UFJ also fell about 2% in general. Mizuho also like 3.66%. All the banks were feeling it, and that's what actually dragged down. Everybody was spooked by Europe.
Yes, correct. In Europe, Nadia, speaking of Europe, we have DAX, the German stock exchange, up
about 1.06%. But yeah, Societe Generale, Credit Suisse, all the bad earnings, they said, it was 400 million euros short their earnings of expectations. It was a nightmare. So that's what actually made people think that, Europe's no longer out of the sick ward. So if you have your three engines of growth, the US, Europe, and Japan, China, what's going to push? China has been having major issues in like the stock market that seems to be sometimes in free fall. And of course, the US as well. Although economically healthy, Janet Yellen herself has warned. It's got.
Yeah, yesterday I think Janet Yellen has warned to the testifying before the Congress House of Financial Services, saying that the US economy will still, suffer from some form of uncertainty and volatility in the financial market.
Okay, so moving on to quickly what's good because the market took up so much of us this week. Albert Einstein has been proved yet again. It's a beginning of a new scientific discovery. Everything that he's talked about is proven. I suppose you can't bet against Einstein.
No, you can't. I mean, the famous E = MC² squared equation is just the Bible for every physicist and any physicist want to be. And today, Nadia, it marks the beginning of the new scientific discovery where the US, the LIGO, the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, that's a very mouthful there,
yes, exactly,
announced that they have actually proven the Einstein's theory of gravitational waves.
Yeah, so it's very interesting because it gives you a new way of looking at the cosmos, and I think as a species, that's a great way for exploration. So it's very scientific, but we found it interesting because it proves that it does exist. I wonder what more is going to be proven.
Correct, yes. According to us, just before we go, according to astrophysicist Katie Mack, now this is entirely new theory, is going to enable us to understand more about our cosmos, our universe, and all the black holes and whatever there is out there in the space, the stars, the moons, and the suns, and all those cosmic things.
There's a ninth planet has been found, apparently, and this came after, of course, David Bowie died. I do not think that's a coincidence. But moving on to what was also bad this week. This week also, you saw the release of Deadpool, and Marvel is a monster, and Marvel's franchises are even more of a monster. So it came all on Facebook that apparently parents were bringing their kids to Deadpool, which is actually rated R in the States and rated 18 here. Have we become so blasé to ratings that we just don't care?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, these parents, what are they thinking? They're bringing the kids to watch this movie, and then yet they're complaining to the newspapers and so on, saying that this movie is full of vulgar languages, and
yes,
it's just astonishing.
Okay, Deadpool has Deadpool has a red band trailer. Red band trailer means it's not suitable for kids. It opens with him saying "F this." That. I mean, what else do you think it's good? So the thing is it the cinema's fault because they are not the ones pushing the kids? Or is it the parents' fault because clearly these are parents who let their kids play Grand Theft Auto where you can run over prostitutes for money? It's ludicrous, and it's just gonna snowball. I don't understand why these people do not understand. Just because it's Marvel does not mean it's family friendly. There's a reason why he's called the Merc with a Mouth. But anyway, just to wrap up for the end of the week, this particular case drew a lot of interest with you, didn't it? Sedition case against the law professor was dropped.
Yes, correct. Today, the Attorney General, Tan Sri Apandi Ali, actually has used his discretion to actually drop the sedition case against the law professor, Dr Azmi Sharom, and saying that, for the sake of justice and after reviewing all the evidence from the prosecution witnesses, the Attorney General himself said that under Article 145.3, the sedition case is dropped. Now, this spells, I don't know, Nadia, I felt something good about this because, finally, you need to be so, politically correct when it comes to seditious.
But the thing is, you have to define what sedition is.
No, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's the main problem for all kinds of this. It's good, but is this a good, stepping stone, or is it just going to be a drop in the ocean because it's just going to continue on? And that says a lot about the system that it sits in. But anyway, just leave you on that note. That's all for us this week. If you actually want more on the stories, don't forget the Edge Markets is there for you, giving blow by blow how the markets are going to do. Hopefully next week is actually better. Go watch Deadpool in cinemas, but for bleeding's sake, do not bring your kids. I'm Nadia Hassan. He's Sulhi Azman. Good night, guys. Have a good weekend.